What about on the Hunt for Love tell-all, Cole finds out that Carlo's been talking mad trash about him to these other cast members, and naturally he feels very crossed and betrayed by this because he assumed that they were boys.
It has come to my attention that you think I'm a because I don't stand up to Jen or that I don't stand up to Rob here.
Now, for context's sake, in case you didn't watch the present season of The Hunt for Love, essentially it is TLC's version of that show, Love Island. It's very trashy. It involves single 90 Day Fiancé cast members and side characters trying to make a connection at a luxury resort in Tulum, Mexico. The problem is, after the first episode, I was somewhat checked out. Because of the way the show's set up, it gives a competitive advantage to the side characters, the people that are just now being introduced to the 90-day audience.
You're just jealous.
Fast forward, what we're seeing present day is this public outrage directed at Carlo because he used Tiffany to get more screen time, a former 90 Day Fiancé cast member. Now, I already knew, and I'm assuming a lot of other people knew, that something like this would happen from the get-go because it's not really fair that the producers didn't confiscate anyone's phones. After the initial meetup, they did a masquerade party the first day. But after that, a lot of these side characters that didn't know much about 90 Day Fiancé shows or the clout that comes with that, they went back to their hotel rooms and they looked these cast members up.
I'm going to give you a reason to talk behind my back and to not trust me.
This is what I'm talking about. I've been waiting for this just about the entire season because Carlo is notorious for talking trash about just about everyone.
And I will say to both of these beautiful, awesome ladies here that he did talk. He would tell me this stuff and how you're fat and ugly, right? You're a dumb bitch.
Wow.
He was pursuing Elise and Tiffany so heavy, all the while bad-mouthing them behind their backs and love-bombing them, telling them what he assumed they wanted to hear because he wants more TV time. I mean, that's obviously why he approached Tiffany from the start, even though he wasn't attracted to her, even though he used her weight against her in his mind and thought that he was better than her because she's just this fat girl. And yeah, even though she's not 300 pounds anymore and she's lost weight, she's never been with a guy like me. Like, he really thought that. He puts himself on a pedestal and thinks that he's so much better looking than he is. Tiffany's never been with a guy that looks like me. She was 300 pounds 5 years ago. What an absolute scumbag to try and use someone's old weight against them. Everyone's body weight fluctuates. And if anything, you should look at what Tiffany's accomplished and say, wow, she took her weight loss journey seriously. That's admirable. That shows discipline. That shows that she put the work in because look at what she looks like present day versus what she looked like 5 years ago. It's just so crummy. And here's the thing too. Tiffany's a naturally better looking person than you are, Carlo.
I don't know how you can stand here and talk about these two ladies and me for you to sit your text behind my back when I've been here for you the whole time.
Not only does Carlo have a very immature mindset at 38 years old, but he's the kind of guy that tells women what he assumes they want to hear so that he can position himself in a better place in life, or in this case, the show. You know, he wanted more screen time, which is why he chose Tiffany, someone that already has her own following, that is a 90 Day Fiancé cast member. I could already tell from the way that he looked at her, it wasn't endearing, it was judgmental. And you can see that when you really zoom in on his face, especially the first couple episodes, when he's in the process of courting her. I could tell that he thought he was doing her a favor just by being in his presence, just by being interested in her. And we can see that from the messages. She's never met a man like me. She's never been with a man like me. Bro, what does that even mean? First of all, if you're a guy and you say something like that, the ego's over 9,000. Because let's talk about this and be real about this. Women are more desired than men. There are more men in women's DMs than women in men's DMs. That's something that I'm assuming everybody knows. Now, even if he was the best looking guy in the world, just based off of how immature he is, how insecure, how jealous, and the way that we've seen him act throughout this entire season of Hunt for Love, you know, brother,
We're gonna cover everything that happened in Tulum, the short but intense flings.
Oh.
The bad blood, the ugly breakups, and so much more. We do have plenty of unexpected guests and some never before seen footage.
What about the femcel producers of these 90-day spin-off shows finally subbed out robotic Sean Robin Lane for a new host?
We've got a lot to dig into.
Her name is Suki, and she's a lot less annoying.
All right, now let's turn our attention to Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany.
To keep things 100 about Tiffany, even though she's a really likable cast member, arguably the most likable cast member from the present season of Hunt for Love, apparently she was in a committed relationship with a guy before going on this show in the first place, and that was exposed by numerous 90-day bloggers.
What was your reaction when you heard that she was going to be on this new show after her not being on TV for such a long time?
Now I can give two fucks. Really, I can give two fucks. Like, I don't even watch the show. I'm happy with my relationship. I don't need to focus on that. You know, so her doing a show, having a boyfriend even while being on a new show, I mean, that's her baby probably, but y'all, probably just doing it for the money. But, which I can understand, but then get out of your relationship that you are in. You know, what does your boyfriend say about this? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, it stings. Shout out to Kiki and Kibitz for that clip, by the way. So Tiffany's ex Ronald seems like a bitter weirdo to me, but nevertheless, if she was in a committed relationship from the beginning, she shouldn't have entertained these other men on this show in the first place.
Last time we saw you in Tulum, you decided to leave exclusively with Rocky. So is that relationship going strong?
So we still call each other almost every single day. We video call, but not as my man, but like as my trainer.
Well, I'm sure your boyfriend is just thrilled about that, Tiffany. She's coming across hella fake, you guys. This blows a bunch of cock because she looks like Marnie from Halloween Town to me, and as a fellow Gemini, I wanted to support, but it's disappointing she went this route, especially when she didn't need to.
As my trainer.
Oh, you're a trainer?
Yes.
Good for you, Tiff.
Yeah.
So you're not together?
We're not together.
Okay, so you're back on the dating scene. You're single.
As you all are probably aware, Tiffany is a 34-year-old mother of 2 children that have different fathers. In the past, wise decisions were not made. In year 2021, the same year as her breakup with Ronald, Tiffany had gastric sleeve surgery, and because of that, she lost around 70 pounds. Since then, she's been working on her fitness and clearly has seen a lot of success when it comes to her physical health. My compliments to her, that's amazing. My question for her, though, is why she wouldn't go on 90 Day Fiancé or a different kind of spinoff with her boyfriend, because according to Google, Ronnie is from Ireland. It's frustrating watching these scenes knowing what we do because she didn't need to move this way.
Are you single?
Here's the thing too, you guys. I'm not going to do mental gymnastics to try and figure out why Tiffany was comfortable lying to the side characters and the audience, because I'm sure that the guy she was in a relationship with before she went on the show told her that it was okay to go on the show and get the money, get the clout from the network.
Okay, so everybody's leaning in. Okay, so we're gonna circle back to that in a little bit because you're being coy with me, Miss Tiffany over there.
Yourwetsock, Tiffany has taken a while to answer this question, which is sus, but given the proper timeline, I get why she is, because apparently The Hunt for Love was filmed in October of year 2024, and Tiffany has been dating this dude Ronnie since 2023.
I have a person who has everything I want, and I don't have to sacrifice not one of the things that I'm looking for.
Okay, this is big. We're so happy for you. So are you gonna tell us his name, who this person is?
My new perfect guy's name is also Ronald.
Since she's pulling a Jasmine and lying about the timeline, they're probably in an open relationship as well, because that's all the rave in the 90-day community these days, isn't it? It's like that Oprah clip. You get an open relationship, you get an open relationship. Jokes aside, Tiffany introduced Ronnie in a very interesting way, because this conversation about him picked up after they roasted Carlo for a solid 15 minutes. We're going to review that as well, but first, let's address the elephant in the room.
I don't want to get too deep into it, but it was a former relationship that I ended because I was being very stubborn.
Interesting. Stubborn about what? Going on the show with the other single cast members in Mexico? You aren't giving us much to work with, Tiff.
But we reconnected. My mom actually was in contact with him because she loves him. And she kept like kind of poking me about it. And then one day I got a knock at my door, and it was him.
Oh, that's the story we were going with for sure. He was like Liz, just waiting around for Tiffany to get back from Mexico, just like how she waited for Big Ed. Sure thing, pal. It seems pretty convenient and unrealistic that a guy would just wait around for you to get back after prioritizing your reality TV career over your relationship unless there was an agreement beforehand, before you left. We can already tell that Tiffany is being secretive about the situation. I'm genuinely surprised that no one, the other cast members, brought that up or, presented some questions, because isn't that so convenient how it all worked out like that? She had a problem with the guy, they broke up, she went on the show, and then when she gets back, he knocks on her door and hits her up, and him and the mom are such good friends. Like, what the fuck? This isn't that believable.
Tiffany, it's like when a dog dies and you get like a new name of the same.
Yeah.
Is he Ronald too on your phone?
No, I don't say that name in my house.
Oh my God.
I call him Ronnie.
Okay.
That's actually what everyone calls him, luckily.
Yeah.
Can one of you socks please explain to me why Tim shows up to every single 90-day tell-all dressed like the Temu version of Adam Lambert? A couple weeks ago, both Tiffany and Tim fueled these rumors online that they were dating. Obviously, they're just friends. Tim's so deep in the closet that I'm actually surprised he doesn't live in Utah.
Some guys are butt, boobs, whatever. The first thing I notice is hair.
GIRLS. I like girls. I'm not gay. I would never.
You don't have a Ronald, you have a Ronnie.
I have a Ronnie, and he's my perfect man.
We're happy for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Her ex, 90 Day Fiancé bloggers, and hella fans claim that she was in a relationship during the resort, and given how this played out, I'm inclined to believe that, but I would love to know what you think in the comments below.
So Tiffany, the person that you just kept bringing back again and again was Carlo. He was always in the picture, and he was always in the back of your mind.
He was persistent.
Tim's about as straight as that Crumble CEO, but you know what? He's a girl's girl. He's always sticking up for his friends, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, he was. And I remember thinking like, there could be something there. I like him. He's cool.
There was definitely a vibe between the two of you guys, so let's take a look.
Flashback clip of Carlo spitting game at Tiffany, pretty much telling her everything that he assumes she wants to hear. We see a couple clips of their dates until finally they play that iconic scene where she picks Rocky over Carlo. From the beginning, to me at least, it was crystal clear that Carlo had a huge chip on his shoulder because he has the main character syndrome real bad. Him and Elise both couldn't comprehend why the spotlight was on the 90 Day Fiancé cast members instead of them because they're so snatched and skinny and good looking, right? They both have really high opinions of themselves because I would consider them average looking at best.
All the cameras kept running to the 90-day people. I was like, the hot single girls and the hot single guys are here, and we're just kind of standing in left field.
Ew, socks. The egos are out of control. If they thought that they were so much better than the 90-day cast members, then why did they do the most to pursue them at the beginning of this show? Elise claimed that Rob wasn't her type. Get out of here with your thirsty, bony ass. Talking about how you're insecure. That doesn't sound like something an insecure person would say. You're giving us mixed signals, Elise. Miss, I like to go suck off old dudes on yachts in Miami. Let's talk about looks for a second, even though there's more important things like character and personality. Since they're so hyper fixated on looks, let's talk about this and just be brutally honest in the comments below. So when you get your entire face redone and get a bunch of procedures at the Build-A-Bitch workshop, there's nothing unique about you anymore. So take a seat, first of all. Second of all, as for Carlo, you look like an Easter Island head. Your face looks like something out of Roblox, you head-ass boy. 38 years old? It's embarrassing. You both look plain, like plain Janes. If I saw you at a bar, I wouldn't look twice. However, if I saw Rob and Tiffany at a date at that same bar, I would say, oh wow, you know what? They're probably gonna make cute kids because they have unique features. Tiffany looks like Camila Cabello for Pete's sake, and Rob's got those sad boy eyes with the lighter features. Dude, they would make a really good combo, and I think a lot of fans realize that because they have unique features. Because even at Tiffany's fattest, because Carlo loves to talk about her weight on and off camera, even at Tiffany's fattest, she has the prettiest face out of all the women on this show, and that's just facts. So no matter what Carlo or Elise do, they will never be as naturally good looking as Rob or Tiffany, which is why they're peanut butter and jealous.
Elise,
I honestly can't imagine my life without you. I wake up thinking about you every day, and I go to sleep thinking about you too.
He said the same thing to me.
These background characters have more pressing concerns. They're so focused on looks. What about Carlo got called out for being a pathological liar and he entered manic laughter mode? And it was like something out of a true crimes documentary I'd watch at 3 a.m.
He said the same thing to you?
Okay, it's okay.
I mean,
judgy.
you're just jealous. Okay.
So you're saying the same thing to her?
No, I'm not.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm not
Okay.
lying, and I'm not jealous.
I was there. Yeah, I was right there.
In addition to being plain looking, he can't process his emotions, communicate in a rational way, or face himself. That's so embarrassing that at 38 years old, you're a gossipy little bitch posting pictures of your weird nipples online like a creep. What happens when a woman you're in a relationship with is honest with you? When you make a mistake, do you lie and throw a whiny tantrum? As a woman, you're already at a physical disadvantage when you're alone with a man. Let's say a woman is living with Carlo. She points out a toxic behavior of his, and for him to have this spastic, psychotic looking reaction, I'm assuming any woman in that position would feel scared. Why would you enter a relationship with someone that's unpredictable like that, that is highly emotional like that, that isn't a stoic masculine man?
I feel really bad for how everything ended in Tulum. I feel like Carlo freaked the out on me. He yelled at me. He felt like I did something wrong to him. And I felt the same way, like he did something wrong to me.
The only thing that Tiffany should feel bad about is not being honest about being in a relationship prior to going on this show. But regardless, we can all agree that Carlo was a cringe rat bastard.
And then he sent me like a shitty text like, ooh, you got me, and the middle finger.
Whoa.
One of the many scenes that stuck out to me was on Between the Sheets. Elise told the audience that Carlo swore on his mother's life that Tiffany lied about him choosing her, which he did. We all have the footage of that. And that's some high-level psychopath behavior to play with your mother's life like that. And for what? To play two women on a television show with your low-level manipulation tactics?
And then he sent me a picture of him wearing a t-shirt with Elise's face on it. Like he was trying to like poke me and say like, ha, 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 ha. Like I didn't even care at that point. I was with Rocky.
I gotta give the credit where the credit's due. Elise's facial gestures are taking me out right now. Also, Carlo's in the back about to come out on set.
All right, I want to switch gears a little bit if we can, because Carlo made a strong connection with Elise.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to look for the strong connection that Suki's referring to here, because from the jump, Carlo treated Elise like his second option.
Yeah, so we lasted probably a solid month and a half, 2 months after Tulum, and I broke up with him. I think the distance, he was very controlling. He wasn't what I was looking for.
Is Carlo controlling? It's absolutely possible. I'm just a bit hesitant to believe that right away at face value coming from Elise's mouth without hearing Carlo's side of the story. It's also possible that she presents herself a completely different way in a relationship setting versus how she was on this show as a single woman.
And he was a manipulator.
And he was a manipulator.
Yes.
Tim stays with the snarky comments. He's got those thigh-high boots sitting like a woman. He's ready for Carlo to come out so we can give him the two-piece combo. Verbally, not physically, because Tim is built like Roger from American Dad. He's not much of a fighter. But, oh wait, he's not much of a lover either. He is a great friend.
So you broke up with him.
Yes.
All right. Well, we want to bring out Carlo to get his side of the story.
So they bring out Carlo, and right away Usman is all smiles because Carlo is much more disliked than he is. And the first person to dab him up and the last person to dab him up is his friend Cole, who he was very close with on the show. However, now we know that he's been talking trash about his bestie Cole for all this time, and he's a rat. He's a snake. I can think of a lot of labels for this guy. But it really speaks volumes about someone's character when they talk trash about their friends, the people that support them. They're just not to be trusted, and I'm happy that he showed up. I'm actually surprised he showed up.
So, Tiffany, do you have anything to say to Carlo?
Tiffany looks at Carlo like she wants to deck him in the face, and I'm about this energy, considering how he love bombed her so hard and tried to convince her that it was him and her against the world, even though he obviously wasn't into her. I get it. Honestly, I think that this is a great opportunity for revenge.
I was nice to you. And in private, when I was just texting you, after you had sex with Elise, even then I said to you, whatever you're gonna do, please just go with whatever your heart wants. If you didn't want me, because trust me, I had options. I didn't need you to continue getting to know me.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, and I would love to know what you guys think about this in the comments, but the minute that Tiffany told Carlo that she has 2 children and he was turned off by that, the conversation should have turned into, you know what, I think we should just be friends moving forward. It should have ended right then and there, because obviously this guy's not about that. He doesn't want to step up and be a good stepfather for your children. He doesn't want that level of responsibility. There's a reason why he's a single cringe lord at 38 years old. And it's not just Carlo. There's a lot of cringe lords like that. Rob and Cole. You think that you're going to step up and be a good stepdad to her daughter? No, I heard that Cole offered her a K-1 visa to bring her over on scholarship to the United States of America, and I'm assuming that's why she went with him over Rob. But I don't think either of those guys are ready to transition into that stepfather role. And what's going to happen with the kid? Is she going to pull a Jasmine Panetta and abandon that kid in Colombia, or is she going to bring that kid with her in America? What's going to happen? I don't know.
If you didn't want me, because trust me, I had options. I didn't need you to continue getting to know me.
Something else to add on to this is when Tiffany brings up her options, I don't take that as her being arrogant. I think that it's realistic because she did have options on the show. Not to mention she was in a relationship with a guy before going on the show. So she is an option at home as well. It's pretty sticky, it's scandalous. I feel like those girls from Recess School's Out. I think what bothered her the most about this Carlo situation is that he knew for a fact that she didn't do it for him, it wasn't gonna work, but he still pursued for personal gain. And I think that's what's bothering her about this, is this dumb motherfucker really thought that he was going to make a fool out of me. Well, now I'm going to put him on blast in front of the whole world. And I think it's appropriate given how he moved. But to be clear, it's not like they were in a relationship or anything. It's not like they were exclusive. It's not like what they had progressed to that point. And I don't even think it could progress to that point, because Tiffany held herself a certain kind of way, not just because she didn't want to be labeled like a slut like Jennifer, but because she had a man at home. So she doesn't need to, reach these new levels of intimacy with anyone on the show, because all she has to do is crack jokes and smile and be bubbly. And it's almost like there's no pressure, It's not the same as when someone is going to the resort truly single and wants to make a connection, and maybe they overthink or they put a certain level of pressure on themselves. She never had to deal with that because she wasn't truly single when she showed up on the show.
You're sitting here saying that you have options, right? Like, why didn't you pick me? I have a million options. But you attacked me when we had slept together. So it clearly felt like...
I attacked you?
Yeah.
Yeah. At the party. We all watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very literal, so I wouldn't use the word attacked. However, she did call out Elise, and it was very immature in a public setting because Elise doesn't owe you anything. Elise is not your friend. You only met on the show and had brief interactions. It's not like you were, besties or anything. And it's one of those things where I understand where Courtney and Elise are coming from, and I'm happy that they brought this up, because when you go on a dating show and you have multiple options and you're trying to make a love connection on the show with these different people, you're not exclusive with any one of them. So anything could happen throughout that time, and you should direct your outrage or your anger towards Carlo, the person that's communicating all this BS to you, because that's whose responsibility it is to steer the relationship.
For me to not see your face in 3 days, you didn't have the balls to come to me and say, hey, Tiffany, you, I'm the guy that you have a connection with. That's shit. That's shit.
Because you are a piece of trash.
Yikes. As you can see, Jennifer hopped on the hate train as well there. All these women are mothers, by the way, which is sad. I'm sure it's really embarrassing for the kiddos. I obviously wasn't invited to this party, and I don't think I ever will be. But if I was, my question for Tiffany would be, why would it be considered courageous for Elise to walk up to you and say, fuck you, I'm banging the dude that you have a connection with? That irrational and confrontational reality TV Latina aesthetic / behavior, it doesn't work for everybody, right? This was a really immature move on Tiffany's part, in my opinion, especially because knowing what we know about her relationship with Ronnie, she didn't care as much as she pretended to care for the cameras, and it makes you wonder, did this woman just have a massive mask slip moment? Is she the kind of woman that gets off on placing herself in the victim position and getting remorseful messages from the audience that watches this show? Because we've seen a lot of cast members do just that.
Okay, you know what? Let me be honest. I was shocked in that moment. And I was like, do you think I'm gonna let this guy see me upset? Not happening. So I did put it on and I was like, I don't care.
You know, for someone that has put in a lot of work to paint themselves out as a nice person to the audience of 90 Day Fiancé shows, it's interesting to immediately defend your confrontational actions instead of recognizing that Elise was a fellow victim of Carlo's deception, and maybe you handled that situation poorly. Now, obviously, I can't speak for Tiffany, but if I could, I'd say something like, you know what, in retrospect, I would have behaved differently, but my ego got bruised and I lashed out in an immature way. There's nothing wrong with taking accountability, but something I've noticed with Tiffany is that it's always someone else's fault.
But you put your anger on Carlo on me.
Well, there's girl code. If you would have said, Tiff, there's something more for me there and I'm a little interested, I would have been like, yeah, go for it. But you never said it to me.
When you bring up girl code and you talk about how she should have had the courtesy to come over and talk to you about it, she didn't owe you that. Would it have been nice? Absolutely. But it's not owed to you because you don't even know her really. You didn't honor girl code. This kind of brain dead logic would only work on unintelligent women. Because of girl code, Elise totally deserved to be publicly dragged and talked down to. Look, I get that Elise and Courtney are both annoying, but they're correct here. And it's a shame because here's the thing, in this community, to a degree, if someone's a likable cast member, they get away with whatever they want.
I attacked you?
It's safe to say that women are much better at covering their tracks than men, and Tiffany and Carlo are prime examples of that. I mean, you gotta be inbred with shit in your pants to believe everything just so happened to work out with her and Ronnie after going on the hunt for love. If a woman prioritized going on a dumb TV show over your relationship, could you honestly say that you would wait around for her to get back? What is this, a Richard Marx song? Hey babe, I'm happy you're back. How was the retreat? I talked to your mom. We're besties. What kind of dude is talking to a girl's mom like that? First of all, there were so many red flags watching this, and not one person brought up anything that was common sense to someone with a fully functioning brain, because Tiffany's like the queen bee, you know? She's in charge of this 90-day friend group. The first night after the masquerade party, she hosted these creatures in her room, and she made sure to get along with everybody.
But then Carlo came right after the camera stopped rolling. And this man was like low-key like sobbing, upset that I didn't have a reaction.
Tiffany then does a masterful job of steering this conversation. Carlo is an easy target. Let's pop off on him a bit after her friends give him the three-piece verbal combo.
It's so weird that you would tell Tiffany that you hooked up with Elise and then feel like that she wasn't upset enough for your liking.
That's like you wanted her to be more upset?
You wanted me to cry?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Carlo felt that Tiffany was emotionally unavailable and his ego couldn't handle that. It's nice to see Rob sticking up for Tiffany and putting this pressure on Carlo, because you got to give the fans what they want.
You weren't satisfied with how sad she was?
I mean, like, you even just said it yourself. Like, you didn't want to give me the satisfaction, so you put on a front.
That's not the point. You up.
It's so embarrassing. Carlo's entire vibe is, Tiffany, you don't even care. Bruh, you banged another woman, then came back to have the best of both worlds. Carlo seems like the kind of guy that would ask a woman out, and then once he got rejected, would call her a whore or something.
You don't do something like that for a reaction.
She's not responsible for her reaction.
So I'm not allowed to come and like console with someone who like I really cared about?
Bro, you came back over to guilt trip her into feeling bad for you after you somebody else.
Rob's firing like a machine gun. He's on the money here. This dude is butthurt that Tiffany didn't think he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Ronnie's her lord of the dance, and he's already danced on her face, so Carlo never stood a chance. Isn't it ironic how the most liked cast members on this show shouldn't have been on this show in the first place? Tim has never had sex with the Latino woman that he pursues. Tiffany was already in a relationship, and Rob is still married to Sophie.
And then you were like, I'm only picking her because I feel like bad I her, so I guess I have to stay with her.
Yeah, Carlo dug himself into a massive hole by lying and talking shit about both of the women he was courting on the hunt for love. He made it perfectly clear to just about everyone that Elise isn't the type of woman that you would introduce to your parents, and I agree wholeheartedly with that, but if he really felt that way, he shouldn't have had sex with that woman or pursued a relationship with her in the first place.
I mean, like, I think that was my initial feelings toward Elise, and I think that's maybe why it came out of left field. And Elise and I really grew our friendship. We, spend every night talking to each other about family, life, everything, and I really started to see her differently.
Oh man, Tiffany's chirping a whole lot, and let the record show that Carlo hasn't interrupted her one time. He's allowed her to speak, and for all we know, she could have been talking to Ronnie the entire time at the resort. Rob could have been talking to Sophie the entire time. Not to mention Colt, or as I like to call him, the Rizzler, could have been talking to an infinite number of Latina mommies in South America. Hopefully, if there is a season 2 of this show, they confiscate phones, because it's not fair that they have this open communication with anyone on the internet. They can look up information on fellow cast members, etc. As for what Carlo's saying, I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth, because he didn't take either one of these women seriously.
I don't think he just slept with her, though. They had a friendship the entire time from day one.
You were dating other men.
You were dating other men.
You were
He's
kissing
free to
other
do
men,
whatever.
too.
Yeah, but I wasn't them.
Well, yeah, obviously, because that would have hurt Ronnie, the man you're in a relationship with, Tiffany. She's really bothered that Courtney and Colt are bringing up the fact that her and Carlo weren't in a relationship, which is true. They weren't in a relationship. They weren't exclusive.
But you guys aren't exclusive.
Yeah.
He's free to sleep with whoever.
You're not getting it. I'm not mad. He can whoever he wants. She can whoever she wants.
Nah, you seem pretty mad, Tiffany. I get being frustrated because Carlo made it seem like he was more into you than he really was. And that feeling of being used sucks, but you weren't transparent with anyone at this resort about your actual situation, so it's a bit hypocritical to expect that level of honesty from other people.
I was very nice, honest, and kind to him. So, when you do that as a grown-up, you expect honesty in return.
Wow, Socks, this is entertaining, huh? You got Colt jumping in and everything as well.
He was honest. He came and told
Clearly,
you. He literally came to your door.
What's he supposed to do during? Hey, Tiffany, I'm Elise.
Tiffany claimed to be nice, honest, and kind to Carlo. Knowing what we do, I hard disagree with that. Colt and Courtney are bringing up good points here. This is TLC's version of Love Island. It's a sleazy hookup show. It's not 90 Day Fiancé. What's worse, a cast member having casual sex with one of his potentials at the resort, or someone that's already mentally not present because they aren't truly single?
No, but if he has feelings or if he's interested.
When they're drunk, it's 2 a.m, they hook up. Should they be like, wait, let's go knock on the door and ask for Tiffany's permission?
Tiffany gets hella triggered and says, not permission. Oh my God, this bitch is actually stupid. Colt then defends Courtney and responds, she isn't stupid. She's the only one making sense here. Courtney calls Tiffany an asshole and asks, are you a bitch or are you pretending? And then Tiffany responds, no, I'm a bitch. Yikes, this is becoming so messy. Carlo looks away like, damn, I hope this TLC check is worth it. Colt says, I think everyone sees that, Tiffany, meaning that she is a bitch. Tiffany then goes on a big rant about how she was honest to everyone and no one was honest to her, which is hilarious. Check this out.
All I am saying is I got mad because I was honest to everyone, so I don't hurt anyone's feelings. But when it came to me, no one gives a
Yeah, if Tiffany was a superhero, she'd probably be Captain Honesty. Be honest, after shooting for around 8 hours, did you go back to your suite at the resort and call Ronnie to tell him about your day and how none of these cringe dudes compare to him? Did you tell him that you couldn't wait to get home and squeeze his Lucky Charms?
Honestly, I am sorry for how I acted, and
you don't have to be sorry.
No, but I am sorry because I was under the impression of what Carlo was telling me about you, and I truly didn't think there was much to it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, is it what I think it is? It smells like girl power. Yay, they're gonna work together to bring down the evil Carlo and vanquish his wickedness from the land. Tiffany the truthful, they call her, and Elise the modest of them all. I'll talk more about her tip popping out in my next video because this one's already long as frick. Elise then reveals that Carlo fed her information that he wasn't into Tiffany. I know, shocker, right?
He told me he didn't feel attracted to her.
That's a whole lot of, doing a lot of crazy shit for someone who's not attracted to me.
Did you say that?
That's not true.
We could tell he wasn't attracted to Tiffany just by the way he was looking at her. If she was skinnier, he'd probably be down to suck a fart out of her butt, though.
You did.
That's not true.
It's not. And you didn't tell Tiffany you the dumbest bitch on the planet. You didn't
Made a mistake? You didn't say you made a mistake and dumb person?
No.
Carlo, Fulio, you are so cooked right now. Your brain must be the size of a peanut. If both women are teaming up on you, they already shared the DMs with each other. They swap stories. These days, a lot of women save every single text message for evidence purposes to prevent being gaslit by liars like Carlo, which is smart because dudes like this are complete cancer and deserve to be called out.
You texted it to me.
Oh.
I don't remember saying that. That's all I'll say. Like, I don't remember.
Oh, please, with the I don't remember act. Oh, yeah, you blacked out when you called Elise a dumb person to your other connection, huh?
All right, so producers have your phone, so they're going to bring it out.
God damn. Secrets revealed.
Well, 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 who's the dumb person now, Carlo? Those are the eyes of a guilty man.
I'm telling you my truth.
No, he didn't say my truth. Stop it. What a loser. So Tiffany passes the phone off to Tim so he can read the messages.
I think she's dumb, but that I made a decision to be friends and a dumb person.
Oh. Colt and Courtney give off the same energy to me as those twins from How to Train Your Dragon. He's shacking up with Courtney at her parents' house in Florida like a crumb, texting other women like, girl, why would you enter a relationship with the dude that's a serial cheater? Colt has cheated on every single woman he's entered a relationship with. Anyways, back to Carlo getting busted in front of everyone. This is so embarrassing for him.
Okay, Carlo, I mean, you said that you didn't remember, but the texts are here.
I can understand why both of you would be emotional and
God damn.
I can understand why the both of you would be emotional. Not him putting this on them now and deflecting. Dude, you are digging yourself into a bigger hole. You got to take accountability and apologize and get the fuck out of there.
like just because I don't remember something doesn't mean it wasn't said.
What? Just because I don't remember something doesn't mean it wasn't said. You did say those things, and you claim you don't remember to not take accountability and responsibility for what you said. It's very apparent. This is the worst advertisement for dating Carlo imaginable.
Like the truth is, like I had two connections and you know, it probably wasn't handled in the best way. Like I wasn't trying to lie or be deceitful to either of you. Like I was actually changing my mind that quickly while I was there.
I hear that Carlo over here is learning Spanish, and because of that, from now on, I will be referring to him by his Spanish name, Cucaracha. Probably wasn't handled in the best way. No, it wasn't handled in a respectful way. Forget about the best way, buddy. Lose the word salad and own your shit.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's fine.
So narcissist.
Rob then asked Cole how he feels about Carlo talking shit about him. I mean, after all, they're supposed to be boys, not gossips.
Wait, Rob, how do you know that?
I told him last night. Cole and I were like literally crying to each other because Cole is telling me that he's talking about me and vice versa.
What happened last night?
Uh-oh, buckle up, socks. Here we go. Jealous Jennifer, because I'm sure she's at the nunnery over there in Colombia. Cole and Elise are just friends. Jennifer's got him so bricked up, I don't think he would cheat. Plus, Tim and Tiffany were there as well, so this was a friendly NPC hangout.
We were confiding in each other. We talked about Carlo 99.9% of the time because I'm like, mine.
It's like him talking shit about a Cole is up. That's like his homie.
I agree with Rob here. He's dressing like he's going to prom, but all of his points have been absolute flame.
Yeah, okay, so this is the problem, Carlo.
We already reviewed this part, Socks. Eventually, Cole says something on the lines of, I want to punch you in the face to Carlo, and when this happens, I just blurt out, do it, like Darth Sidious, because sometimes you got to ask yourself, what would Jasmine Panetta do in this situation? I'm just kidding. Like I said earlier, you guys, when Cole is confronting Carlo, his voice is cracking and shit. It reminds me of that scene in the second Harry Potter when Dumbledore gives an award to Neville Longbottom and says something on the lines of, it takes a special kind of courage to confront your friends and call out your friends. And you can tell that he's not a confrontational person, so he's really out of his comfort zone here. I think we can all acknowledge that.
Wait. I'm very confused.
I'm not confused at all.
Right now, the host is confused, so Elise informed her that a month ago they were in New York filming Between the Sheets. Tiffany and Elise spent 7 hours together. They traded phones and read all the shit that Carlo was talking about them both. Elise then promised Tiffany that she would have her back on the tell-all because it's really hurtful that Carlo did them dirty like that.
I have been there for you. And I might look like a whore on TV, and maybe I say some things I should shut my mother mouth for, but you know I'm a good person. And I had best intentions for you, but you me. And you her, and you your mother best friend.
Hell yeah, pop off, Elise. That felt very authentic, and I appreciate the intensity.
Stop talking shit about people.
Mic drop 1000%, and Carlo's real quiet after this. He just takes it like a good boy. Elise is pissed. She even cut off Tiffany next.
You like to pretend you're this good guy, and I acknowledge that
Me
I'm wrong.
and Cole for 7 months have been by your side. And you're talking shit about him, and you're telling Cole shit about me.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Don't be fake, Carlo. It's a terrible way to live your life. Something interesting happens next, though. Colt interjects and asks that they allow Carlo to respond, which really frustrates Tiffany.
What? So you can talk more shit then.
You heard it from everybody. He's a piece of shit, and we're gonna say that, and no one's gonna interject.
Carlo's a 38-year-old man. He can take care of himself. There's no need for you to speak up here. I get that it seems like everyone's ganging up on him, but it's his fight and not yours.
Tim, why don't you just stay over there and shut the up?
Oh shit, Battle Royale. Colt's picking a fight with Tim now. This is such a fun tell-all to watch, actually. Tim brings up how every single one of the dude's friends have called him a liar, presented evidence to back up those claims. So Colt is basically tripping here.
I want his response to all these accusations.
Colt, you sound like the president of the Silly Goose Committee right now, because the dictionary definition of accusation is a charge or claim that someone has done something illegal or wrong. So these aren't accusations, little guy. These are facts.
I want him to say something. Your best friend just basically switched on you. How do you feel about that?
What? Switched on him? Colt, are you trying to live with Carlo next or what? After the show, he's gonna come up to him and be like, hey bro, you looking for a roommate? My lady caught me virtually finger popping a mommy from Venezuela.
Like, I love you, Carlo, but you really up, brother. You up.
Well, that's kind of gay, Usman. Why do you love Carlo? I thought you loved baby girl Lisa. Y'all were really cute together, by the way.
Carlo, it is over. There's nothing Carlo can say. Nothing. The only thing that Carlo can do is to apologize and admit his shit and just get the hell out.
True, and that's pretty much what Carlo does. He apologizes for talking all that shit behind their backs.
Bye, Carlo.
Bye.
And that's all she wrote, Socks. The host then thanks Carlo for his time and sends him on his way. He leaves the set, and that's pretty much the end of this segment. Let me know which segment you guys want me to honestly review next.